Flicks,
where we combine our love of movies, our librarian sense of nostalgia,
and my lame jokes.
We'll be watching the first 30 minutes of a classically labeled chick flick and then talk about it.
Then we'll let you know if you should watch it or not.
Get ready to find your next lame love story.
Katrina
and Miss Sam.
Today we're here to talk to you about the movie Wedding Planner
that you can find on Hulu.
I have never seen Wedding Planner.
I have.
So this was interesting for me. As normally I've seen a lot of these movies because I'm like a huge movie.
I feel like this is an underrated.
Yeah. I'm a big movie nerd though, so I've seen a lot of these, but I have never seen, I guess like I'm not a big fan of Jennifer Lopez.
Yes, it was Jennifer Lopez and Matthew McConaughey.
Which like, let's just start with the fact that Matthew McConaughey plays a doctor, which is the most unbelievable part of this whole movie.
I like how that's your most unbelievable.
That's my problem. Like, Matthew McConaughey is definitely not a doctor.
In this movie, he is.
Like, really? Okay, so let's start from the beginning. So we start with a young girl having her Barbies get married, and we find out that she does become the wedding planner. So she's always liked weddings, always wanted to plan weddings. We flash forward and we see her, who is Jennifer Lopez, and she is calming down a very scared bride. We find out that she's great at her job.
She is type A personality, overprepared for everything, and is amazing at her job as a wedding planner.
She's solving problems left and right. She makes this wedding like perfect. She has like a tool belt of important things that she has, and she finds the father of the bride who's like crying drunk somewhere.
Because his daughter's getting married.
I mean, I'm sure my dad would do the same thing. And she kind of like gets everything like under control, and the wedding happens, and there's some women in the audience, and they're like, oh, she must lead such a romantic life. And then
we flash forward tonight where she goes to her empty apartment, eats her like microwavable meal, and is OCD cleaning her apartment to a whole new level and folding her laundry
and watching Antiques Roadshow, which like I felt a little attacked. I'm just gonna put that out there because I see nothing wrong with like heating up some like chicken nuggets and watching terrible television alone at night.
You know, they were just trying to show that she did not have this magical life everyone thought she did.
Eating chicken nuggets and watching Antiques Roadshow is pretty magical, but let's continue with the movie. So our wedding planner is visiting her dad, right?
They're part of a Scrabble club.
Yeah, that's her dad though, right?
Yeah, it's her dad.
I missed that entire part and I was like, I think this is her dad.
It's her dad.
And she's hanging out with all these other old people and they're playing Scrabble.
Which she's also very good at.
Mm-hmm. And he tells her that he found her a boy to marry. And we find out he's also Italian. And she's like, no, when we were kids, he ate mud. But like, he's an adult now. I'm sure he doesn't eat mud.
No.
And she kind of like runs away from the whole situation. The next thing we see is she is at her fancy office because she's a fancy businesswoman. She's trying to get a famous rich person wedding, like land them as clients, I guess.
So that she could become partner of the wedding planning business.
Yeah, she says it'll be our biggest event ever. And if she gets it, then she'll become a partner. So now we have this like business lady who's career oriented, going for this career goal. So obviously we need to find some sort of dude to like interrupt her plans.
And she's also very good at her job. Like they take bets on how when they're gonna divorce.
Oh,
and she's very good at it.
She judges them by their wedding song, and I'm gonna tell you that like that seems totally legit. Like I feel like if you pick a bad wedding song, your marriage is totally not lasting.
And what color are the bridesmaids' dresses?
Yeah,
like
important. I mean, these are important things that show who people are.
Yes.
So I agree. I found nothing wrong with that. I was like,
she has her trusty little sidekick.
Yes, her assistant. I don't know what her name was. I didn't remember.
Penny.
She has like blonde curly hair, and she's like kind of in all those other movies.
She was. She's always the best friend in the movie.
The sidekick, the assistant. So she's at her office, and the Italian guy shows up that her dad wants her to marry. He's like there, and the assistant's like, I don't know, he's pretty cute. I don't see the problem.
And then she runs away again.
She runs away again. She's back at another wedding, and she's like feeding the best man his speech.
These are very elaborate weddings too.
Oh yeah, these are like rich people, like $1 million weddings. They have a wedding planner, so clearly. Yeah. But she's like giving him a speech in an earpiece, which I think is really great.
It's
like
smart.
I wish someone had done that when I had to make wedding speeches.
And some other like people, you don't want to give that speech.
Yeah, that's true. And then we see the rich lady who she's trying to impress. It impresses her, and her mom. I think her parents are there, right?
Yeah, her parents are there.
So she kind of sells them this whole wedding idea, and drum roll, the wedding's in 3 months.
Of course it is.
So now she has 3 months to plan this rich person, very elaborate wedding. So we're setting the stage for, again, business lady, career driven, has this deadline, has this big opportunity that she has to happen.
So obviously chaos needs to ensue. So
something's gonna happen.
She lands the wedding.
And then she's on the phone talking to her assistant.
I think her name's Penny.
Her name is Penny?
I don't know. Don't quote me on it, but I think it's Penny.
So she's on the phone with maybe Penny assistant, and she gets her shoe stuck in a sewer. This is where the movie started to lose me, guys. So she gets her foot, her heel and her shoe stuck in the sewer, and she's like, oh no, it's stuck in the sewer in the middle of the road. And then there's an old man eating an ice cream cone while he's driving, and he drops the ice cream. Who eats an ice cream cone?
Where he proceeds to look down from his driving and picks it up with his hands.
With his hands! If I'm eating an ice cream cone while driving and it drops on my seat, I'm just gonna be like, we're gonna call this a loss and I'll clean the seat later. No, he's scooping it up with his hands.
And then proceeds to eat it.
And eats it, yes.
And hits a garbage
dumpster. He hits a dumpster.
And the dumpster proceeds to go down the hill because we are in San Francisco.
Yeah, it rolls down the block at her, and at this point she's like, oh no! And she takes her foot out, and then she goes, oh no, not my shoe! And she runs back for the shoe.
I mean, if I had a pair of shoes that were over $500, I might run back for the shoe.
Like, I get it. Like, it's important. But, like, what's going to happen? Like, I would just let the dumpster go and then go back and take the shoe.
But that doesn't make it dramatic.
No, of course not.
You have to make it dramatic.
So, she's back for the shoe. The dumpster's coming at her. And then a guy jumps out of nowhere and saves her right before impact. So, she passes out right away and he, like, carries her to safety. Which, like, clearly this is Matthew McConaughey. He's going to be the love interest. He rescues her. This is going to be good, right? We're setting up the scene. So she wakes up at the hospital and she's surrounded by all these kids and she's like, oh, what's going on?
She's in a kid's hospital.
And we find out that he is actually a children's doctor because, of course, make us love him more, make him a children's doctor.
And she obviously thought she was paralyzed.
And she freaks out.
The kids quickly told her that she was not because she was moving.
So, like, they kind of make googly eyes at each other, and she kind of, like, gets to her office and, like, spruces herself up, like, oh, I gotta look cute for this cute doctor. And then
Penny comes in.
She comes in and she invites him to see an old movie in the park with them. So, like, oh, thanks for saving my friend. Why don't you come to this, like, old movie in the park?
Because she's obviously setting them up.
Which is, like, I mean, it's a cool idea. So he shows up with snacks, and then the assistant makes, like, a super lame excuse to leave. They're drinking and chatting and stuff, and they seem to be getting along really well. We find out she's part of the Scrabble Club. She kind of talks about why she did that. We find out that he only eats brown M&Ms. So, like, they're sharing their little, like, things that they like. Like, I do weird things, too.
Yep.
You know, like, it's something you do.
We obviously start romantically dancing to the movie and the music.
And there's a security guard there who she somehow knows.
He's part of the Scrabble Club.
Oh, okay. So he's part of the Scrabble. So the security guard is kind of like, oh, you got to dance with her. Like, friendly. You know, it also sets the stage as she's, like, very friendly to other people. She's a loving, caring person. We find out that he has taken ballroom dancing lessons. That's why he's such a great dancer. And that's kind of like where our 30 minutes is up.
It starts raining.
Yeah.
And they obviously ruins the moment that they were going to kiss.
And that's kind of it. That's as far as we get. So we have this business career woman. We have this guy. Clearly, there's some stuff going on. Okay, so since I haven't seen the movie, I am going to give my prediction.
And I have, so I know what happens.
So my prediction is that they're gonna, like, fall in love, obviously. He's gonna be like, there's more to life than planning weddings. You should, like, live. And she's gonna, like, slack off on this wedding. And then last minute, it's gonna be like, oh no, I'm gonna screw up my chances of being a partner. And she, like, kind of, like, dumps him for the wedding because she's, like, so business oriented. And then at the end she's gonna be like, oh no, why am I leaving him? He's the best thing that ever happened to me. He's a children's doctor. He's probably got a lot of money or something. And then she goes back with him and they get together and they live happily ever after. That's my prediction. Am I close? Not at all.
No.
I haven't watched it at all. So now I gotta go back and I gotta finish it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna tell you if you should or shouldn't watch it. Miss Sam, you go first because you've seen it.
Okay. It's a cute movie. Like, if you got spare time, like, I would give it a go. You don't. It's not like a must-see early 2000s movie, I feel like, but it is entertaining. Like, you probably want to give it a try, but not go out of your way. If it's on, watch it. If not, it's no big deal.
So I've never seen it, but I'm gonna go with a yes. Like, I think it's got a lot of classic chick flick like tropes. Like, she's a businesswoman and he's like a loving doctor. I mean, again, I haven't seen it, so I don't know how it ends. It could take a wild turn that I know nothing about and get terrible. But I'm so far off the 30 minutes. I'm gonna say yes, but maybe I'll update you if I watched it and how I feel about it after. So I'm gonna go with a yes.
Hi everyone, we're back, and I just want to let you know that next week we're going to be watching Maid of Honor.
I haven't seen this one either, so I guess I'm in for a ride.
She has no idea what's going on.
None.
None.